Hi guys, welcome back. I've inadvertently made a second video for this because apparently my phone will only do about 40 minutes in a video, so we'll try and get through these quickly so I don't end up with part 3. I finished up on Howland 2, as I said. I think I got most of that. It's not a great film, it's pretty shit to be honest. To Live and Die in LA, this is a William Friedkin film with I think Willem Dafoe and gosh, your man from Manhunter, which I can't remember his name right now. William Peterson. Yeah. I've seen that years ago when I was probably too young. I can't remember kind of enjoying it, but I'm probably too young to appreciate what it really was. Cohen and Tate, haven't seen that. Eric Red, who wrote The Hitcher. I think this is Roy Scheider and Adam Baldwin. But yeah, I don't know a huge deal about that. Got the Guyver slipcase. This is the American. Sorry, this phone just doesn't focus properly. American version of the manga. It's okay. It's kind of weird in a sort of odd Power Rangers kind of way. You know, it kind of like tries to be serious, but tonally it's a bit all over the place. Anyway, Black Society trilogy by Takashi Miike. Again, I've got these on Tartan Asia. Haven't got around to them yet. I wish I'd had the slipcase for that, but I never got it. I might track it down at some point. Blood Rage. I did start watching this tonight, but I kind of got a bit bored. I'll get round to it. It does look a bit daft. Sorry, I've got something on there I'll show in a minute. Willie Dynamite, another black exploitation film. Cracking cover that. Don't really know much about the film, but I do kind of like that sort of stuff. We've got Tower London, another Vincent Price film. So it's quite. I love that cover. That is gorgeous. Don't really know a huge deal about it. But I'll get to it. So I'm just going to crouch down here, probably pop my knees. Dead or Alive trilogy, Takashi Miike again. I got the slipcase for that one, quite glad. Kaltiki, this is one of Mario Bava's first films, or if not his first film, as co-director. I don't think he directed a lot. I watched it, it's quite an entertaining film, it's a bit weird. Sort of an old black and white monster film. Takes a lot from the sort of later Universal films and the sort of science fiction-y type stuff that they started doing. Wolf Guy. This is a Japanese film with gosh, Sonny Chiba. I'm just terrible with names at the moment. Unfortunately, Sonny Chiba died recently. I am going to get around to watching it. I have watched the started watching the Street Fighter films. They're great. City of the Living Dead. Again, I don't know much about it. Looks cool though. Brain Damage. This is a slipcase and got this nice little pin with it, which is quite cool. I haven't actually watched the film, but I've heard it's quite mad. As Frank, if I pronounce his name right, Henenlotter. Henenlotter? I don't know. I'm not terrible at this. See if you can pronounce it if it focuses. Come on, phone. No, it's not going to do it. Sorry, if you bear with me a second, I'll just have a look myself. Frank Henenlotter, that's it. Yeah, we'll get round to it. Cops and Thugs. This is the Kenji Fukusaka film. As I say, I like Japanese films and I like what I've seen of his stuff. Evil Ed. Haven't seen this. This is the variant cover. I think it's the original cover. I quite like that design. It's meant to be suitably mad. Clown. I've seen clips of this and the series. This is the sort of spin-off of the TV show, although it's not necessary to see the TV show to watch the film, I believe. They can exist as almost sort of multiverse entities. But I've seen bits of the series. It's cracking, sort of like a is it Danish? Yeah, Danish version of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Madhouse. Haven't seen this, but I've heard great things. Doberman Cops, another Kenji Fukusaka film. And back in the sort of 60s, 70s. Pulse, here we are. One of, I think, only two or three Kiyoshi Kurosawa films that Arrow have done. Pulse, Cairo. Fantastic, absolutely terrifying. I've got the DVD. I do need to revisit that. Psycho 2. Actually a really solid follow-up. Not trying to emulate the original film, it's doing its own thing. And I think it does it quite well. Story by Tom Holland, who did Child's Play and Fright Night. Great little film. Future Shock, The Story of 2000 AD. I need to get this watched because I love 2000 AD. This is a sort of documentary retrospective. Looks great. Ronin. Yeah. Another John Frankenheimer film. Great little thriller. Sort of kind of Cold War-y thriller, but a slightly different story. Slayer, haven't watched, don't know. Monster slasher thing. Another Mario Bava film. Eric the Conqueror. Vikings. You know, random as F, except it's Mario Bava, The Ghoul. As I say, I've got the DVD of this. This is the variant cover, which I really like. It's meant to be really good. I've heard great things about that. Day of the Jackal. I will have seen this years ago. Yeah, this is the original. Again, another sort of great spy, Cold War type thriller type thing. Another Mario Bava, Kill Baby Kill. Yeah, I don't know much about it, but I imagine it's pretty entertaining. Deadly Blessing, early Wes Craven. I quite enjoyed this. It's a bit patchy, a bit all over the place. I know there were issues with it. It's got the weirdest ending ever, which Wes Craven did not want. Similar to how Nightmare on Elm Street was interfered with. But it's still an entertaining film. The Stuff, again, not perfect, but I really enjoyed it. Some good moments, bit weird pacing. Suspicious Death of a Minor. Sergio Martino, quite a few Sergio Martinos from Arrow. Haven't watched this one, but I will get to it. Do like my Giallos as well. Speaking of which, Lucio Fulci Giallo. Don't Torture a Duckling, which I haven't watched. Didn't get the slipcase for this, which I'm a little bit gutted at, but you know, them's the breaks. Miracle Mile, I saw this again. I saw this at an all-night film festival. This is one of the most miserably depressing films ever, which weirdly runs on hope, starts on hope, and then just kind of descends into sort of nihilism. But good film, really well done. The Villainess, Korean actioner in the vein of Nikita. This is brilliant. I really enjoyed this. Really good film. And I like it when Arrow put out, you know, they're not obviously known for cult films and old films that aren't available. But I like it when they put out new ones. They seem to be doing a bit more of that recently. And it's nice because nobody else is doing it. JD's Revenge, another black exploitation film. I haven't seen this, but I've heard great things. And The Incredible Shrinking Man, based on a gosh, what's his name? Richard Matheson story, who also wrote I Am Legend, which is a fantastic book. I'd probably seen this years and years ago when I was young. It's an old sort of classic black and white one from the 50s or 60s. Pulp with Michael Caine. I think I've seen this as well a long time ago, but I don't really remember much about it. It's quite suitably weird. Hounds of Love, again, as I say, I've got the DVD of this up above. This is the variant cover, which I quite like. I haven't seen it. It's meant to be quite dark, quite tough. Raising Cain, another Brian De Palma. I loved this when I saw it at first, but I rewatched it on this. It's got a different cut, which was assembled by a fan, although approved by De Palma, because De Palma had initially wanted to flip the timelines a little bit back and forth in the studio, didn't want to, but when you watch the timeline, the sort of the new one, the fan edit, it's brilliant. I loved it. I thought it was really well sort of crafted. Bloodthirsty Trilogy, sort of strange mix of Hammer horror and Japanese horror and period horror, but pretty entertaining. They get bloodier as they go, even though it's the Bloodthirsty Trilogy. It's really only the third one, Evil Dracula, before they start getting really bloody, but yeah, good stuff. I think that third one was my favourite as well. Death Smells and a Murder, I haven't seen this yet. Another Giallo. We're still going to get stuff in here. Jake Speed, yeah, kind of weird 80s Indiana Jones adventure type thing. I thought it was pretty bad, to be honest. It was a shame because it could have been really good, but not very good at all, unfortunately. Vigil, haven't seen this. This is a New Zealand film or Australian film from the director of The Navigator, which is also here. We'll show that in a minute. I haven't seen Vigil, but The Navigator was great. Seijun Suzuki's Go to Hell, sorry, Detective Bureau 2-3 Go to Hell Bastards. One of the best titles ever. This is a cracking little film. Bit mad, but, you know, really good. Case of the Scorpion's Tail. This is Sergio Martini. This another giallo. It's quite entertaining. Not brilliant, but not bad at all. And as I say, we've got Navigator Medieval Odyssey. It's a great low budget little, I don't know what you would call it, kind of fantasy version on science fiction. It's you know, it's quite meditative. So we'll put it that way. It's not big budget. It's not big special effects. It's just, you know, entertaining. Okay, right. So as I've got these piled up because I'm doubling them up. Street Mobster, another Kenji Fukusaka film. Looks suitably good. Got The Endless by Benson and Moorhead. And if you've seen any of their films, well, their first film, Resolutions, here, and The Endless is a kind of sequel to it, but they also did Spring and Synchronic. I love all their stuff. I think they're cracking filmmakers. They're going to be doing some Moon Knight episodes with Marvel. I'm really looking forward to what they do next. We've got Apprentice to Murder. This is the variant cover, which I quite like. Haven't seen this, don't know a huge deal about it. I think it's Donald Sutherland that's in that. Incident in the Ghostland. This is again the variant cover, which I quite like. This is Pascal, sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong, Logier, who did Martyrs, which is one of my favourite horror films ever. Absolutely brutal. Prisoners of Ghostland is pretty decent as well. Not quite as brutal as Martyrs, but it's definitely interesting. Pajama Girl Case, giallo set in Australia. I haven't seen this. I believe it's based on a true story. It's meant to be very, very good actually. Horrors of Malformed Men. It's just the basic release. That's a Japanese film by the same guy that did Blind Woman's Curse. And a few other that are released. Deadbeat at Dawn. Don't know much about this at all. I believe it's quite a brutal, low budget film. It's meant to be pretty harsh. Orgies of Evil by the same guy that did Horrors of Malformed Men. Yeah, sort of anthology exploitation. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. I think I've seen this years ago, but I don't really remember it. So horror comedy, 80s horror comedy, 90s horror comedy stuff. Forbidden Photos of a Lady Bus Suspicion, another giallo. This is meant to be actually a lot better than the sleazy premise and title would have you believe. They've made a maze. I love this film. It's so creative, so strange, but so well done. Absolutely brilliant film. I need to rewatch it at some point. So glad Arrow put that one out. Possessed. I've not seen this. Don't know a great deal about it. I think it's a French movie. Fifth Chord by the same director. Perhaps Italian based on his name. But again, I haven't seen that, so I don't know. Horror Express. I have probably seen this years ago when I was a kid. Just saw a lot of these kind of films. This looks brilliant. Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing and Telly Savalas. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. I might actually watch that tonight even. Before We Vanish, the other Kiyoshi Kurosawa film. I don't think there's any others through Arrow, but this looks brilliant. I'm really dying to watch this. I need to get around to it. I've loved everything I've seen by him. Sister Street Fighter Collection. This is spin-offs from the Street Fighter films with Sonny Chiba. He appears, I think, only in the first film very briefly. But this is, as you can see there, Itsuko Shihomi, and she is fantastic in this. Absolutely fantastic. They're just mad little films. Really enjoyable. Really bonkers. Colobus or Colobus. Haven't seen this. Again, it's got very good reviews. Meant to be pretty good. Terraform Mars. Takashi Miike. This is a weird one. I've seen this. It's sort of like a low budget. Some of the effects are pretty decent, but it's like a riff on Starship Troopers mixed with Power Rangers and manga. Just mental. Not brilliant, but not terrible. But terrible is The Iguana with Tongue of Fire, a weird giallo set in Ireland, which is just, I just thought it was terrible. I thought it was an awful film. Sadly. Black Moon Rising, I haven't seen this. Tommy Lee Jones and Lyndall Hamilton. It's meant to be quite good. It makes me think of the film Cyclone. I don't know if it's a similar premise, but the film Cyclone with Jeffrey Combs. No, was it Jeffrey Combs? Or was it Bruce Abbott? I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, Cyclone I loved. I wish someone released that. Black Moon Rising, yeah, that could be quite good. Who knows? Scared Stiff, haven't seen that. This is the variant cover, possibly the original, which I love. Yakuza Law. This is again by the same director as Horrors of Malformed Terminology, the video. I don't know if it Teruo Ishii. To apologise if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Mega Time Squad, another New Zealand film. This is cracking. I love this film. I thought this was brilliant. Really, really offbeat, strange, funny, weird. Got that very specific humour that New Zealanders and Australians have. Waterworld, just the slipcase version, so just the 2 cuts of the film. But I watched the extended, the Ulysses cut, I think, which is on. No, yes, it is the Ulysses cut on here, and I loved it. I remember enjoying it when it first came out. It gets absolutely slated, not deserving of the hate, I don't think, at all. The Sender, haven't seen this, but I've heard it quite mad. Life Force, saw this years ago. It's a bit patchy, got some great effects, got some interesting ideas. Not perfect, but certainly one that, you know, deserving of a release by Arrow. Double Face, Klaus Kinski, haven't seen this. I think it's a giallo. And I have seen this, Weird Science, John Hughes film. It's quite entertaining. It's silly, daft 80s nonsense. Speaking of which, 16 Candles, not a fan. I have to say it's better than I remembered it, but I still have issues with the casual racism and the, you know, date rape as a joke kind of thing. But hey ho, is what it is. Not a patch on Pretty in Pink, I would say, which wasn't directed by Hughes, but is a far better film. Lords of Chaos, only saw that this had a variant cover, which I much prefer. Thought it was a cracking little film based on the true story of the infamous church burnings and murders in Scandinavia in the early 90s with the black metal community. Great stuff. The Prey, haven't seen this. It's got a couple of different cuts of it. I believe it's an infamous film. Nice release there. Dead Center, this was brilliant. Love this. Great little low budget film that leans into cosmic horror in a really good way. Psychological cosmic horror. That was cracking with a very shocking ending. Anyara, I think this is a Swedish film, if I remember right. Yes, based on a Swedish poem. This was brilliant. I thought this was a fantastic film. It's quite heavy, I'd say miserable is not the word, but it's definitely affecting. It's definitely not a happy film, but really well done. Satanic Panic, horror comedy, recent horror comedy. It's okay, it's not brilliant. It's got some good ideas, some good laughs. Kind of loses it a bit towards the end, but I did like it. I like the characters in it. Hitchhike to Hell, this is the original cover, which I quite like. Well, I presume it's the original cover. Got a kind of Scooby-Doo vibe to it there, maybe it's just the van, but I haven't seen this, so I don't know what it's like. Harpoon, again I've gone with the variant cover. Don't know much about this, but it's meant to be very, very good. Again, another really recent film that Arrow released. Apologies. Edge of the Axe, slipcase version that was only available in the Arrow store, which I've managed to pick up, which I'm very happy with. Daniel Isn't Real, another recent film Arrow put out. This has got, I believe, Arnold Schwarzenegger's son in it, and it's meant to be very, very good psychological, thrillery, horror type stuff. Deadly Manor, I've not seen this. Don't know a thing about it. One Must Call trilogy. I have seen the first one of these, Takashi Miike's sort of J-horror film. It's not great, it's not particularly scary, it's got its moments, but it's entertaining enough. Haven't seen the follow-ups, but I will get around to them eventually. The Wind by Nico Mastorakis, who's got quite a number of films that Arrow have put out. I haven't seen this, but it's got Meg Foster in it, who is probably best known to my generation as Evil Lynn from the He-Man film, the Masters of the Universe film with Dolph Lundgren. Why Don't You Just Die, a Russian film, which is meant to be hugely entertaining. Again, a recent film that they've put out. Haven't seen it, but I've heard really good things about that. Trailer does look fantastic. Empathy Inc., another recent film, low budget movie, which looks quite interesting. I watched a lot of these trailers online just to kind of get an idea of what I might be in the mood for, and some of these have definitely gone up my list. This one hasn't. Whitefire, I only picked up the slipcase because I like slipcases. Apparently this, from everything I've read about this film and seen from the trailer, it looks god awful, you know. A sort of curio, really, if nothing else. Now The Woman, based on the Jack Ketchum book, as is the sort of is it the sequel or the prequel? I think the prequel, Offspring, is also here, which is based on writings by Jack Ketchum, who sadly passed away. It's meant to be brutal stuff, absolutely brutal. Meant to be very good though. Very much leans into that sort of, not torture porn, but the kind of affecting, violent kind of stuff. I See You, I thought it was a cracking little thriller, just out in the last couple of years. Twisting, very twisty, thrillery type thing. Very, very good film. Well worth a watch. Sort of moves from, you think it's haunted house, ghosty stuff, then you think it's something else, and then it flips and flips and flips. Really well done. Another Nico Mastorakis, or I don't know how you pronounce that, sorry, do apologise. Blood Tide, don't know anything about that. That could be quite good. After Midnight, this actually comes with the filmmaker's first film, The Battery. I wasn't impressed with The Battery, I did have some issues with it, but I thought After Midnight was brilliant. I thought it was a really good film, really well sustained, really well filmed, with some great performances and one of the most shocking endings ever. Very surprising. And we've got Dream Demon. Again, I don't know much about this at all. This looks quite interesting. Could be a riff on Nightmare on Elm Street. We shall see. Right, I'm going to sit on my table. Hopefully it won't break. Right, let's move down to this row very quickly. Zombies for Sale. This one looks brilliant. I've watched the trailer for this. Korean comedy horror. Looks absolutely fantastic. Inferno for Torture, again, by the same director of Horrors of Malformed Men. Black Rainbow. I think this is a Mike Hodges film, yeah, that did Mona Lisa. Don't know much about it, but it looks quite interesting. Exorcist 3, absolutely terrifying film, yep. Love that slipcase edition. Bloodstone. This is again Nico Mastorakis production. Again, I don't know much about it. It looks like it's a kind of Indiana Jones type thing, but probably not. Pitch Black, yeah, fucking brilliant film, love it. I'll tell you what, I'm going to move one of these up because these are all just coming out. Black Test Car comes with a second film, which is called Black Report. I don't know if they're sequels or whatever, but they're kind of connected. Sorry if you're getting footage of my foot there. Got the comic slipcase, which is limited edition. Don't know anything about it. Jesus Shows You the Way to the Highway. This was mad. I watched this on Arrow Player recently and it's absolutely insane. Quite deliberately badly made, but very entertaining. Ivan XTC, I haven't seen this, but it looks very, very slick, very, very entertaining. Danny Houston's in that. He's a brilliant actor. Deeper You Dig, haven't seen this. I think this comes with a second film. Yes, The Hatred, by the same team. We'll get round to that. Looks interesting. Warning from Space, early Japanese film. Don't know much about it. That could be quite interesting. I don't know how to pronounce this. Hagasusa, folk horror from, I don't know if it's a Scandinavian folk horror. But I've seen the trailer for that, and it looks brilliant. Very art house, I think. Cold light of day. I love the slipcase. It's a little bit cut out. But this looks quite grimy, sort of 80s British horror based on, I think it's based on Dennis Nelson murders. And one of my favourites, Lake Michigan Monster. I've seen this twice now. Brilliantly, deliberately silly, low-budget film in the vein of Garth Marenghi's Dark Place or Robert Rankin books, if you know who that is. Burst City. Yeah, this looks absolutely bonkers. I think it's early 80s, sort of punk, cyberpunk, Japanese black and white madness. El Duce Tapes. I think this is a documentary following a punk band in the early 90s. Yeah, that's meant to be quite interesting, possibly very controversial. Beyond Reanimator, the third Reanimator film. As you see, I've got the first two up above. I haven't actually seen this one. What I'll do is I'll just throw it on the ground. Sorry about that. Yeah, I haven't seen this one. I'd heard bad things about it, but you know, it could be decent. It could be worth a watch. Shogun's Joy of Torture. Yeah, this is another one by the same director of Horrors of Malformed Men. And then we've got King of New York, Christopher Walken, one of my favourite actors of all time, is an Abel Ferrara film. Saw this years ago, it's quite entertaining. We've got Versus, brilliant film, Japanese. I mentioned this in my Tartan Asia video, but it's just insanely good. Speaking of good, insanely good, Wreck, the first Wreck film. Brilliant. Watched it again recently. Forgot how short it was and how fast it moves. It's so good. Terrifying. JSA, yep, again, mentioned this in the Tartan Asia video. Park Chan-wook. Brilliant film. Shaveland Tales. I did watch this years ago, was not impressed. I actually hated it. It's one of the few times I've reviewed a film on Amazon with 1 or 2 stars. Like, I absolutely hated it. But I do think I maybe need to rewatch it because there were a couple of things I liked about it. I seem to remember liking the use of Moby's music and some of the cinematography. Invisible Man Appears. I think there's a second one in here. Yep, The Invisible Man versus the Human Fly, sort of 60s Japanese films based on probably very influenced by the Universal stuff. The Bloodhound. I think this is a take on the Fall of the House of Usher. This looks quite good. I watched the trailer for that recently. That's like quite a good little psychological horror. Clapboard Jungle. It's a documentary about trying to get films made. I think it took 5 years to make, or it covers 5 years. Oh, this is the problem when you're doing this one-handed. You need a GoPro or something for this. Also getting a sore back. Another Jackal film, Switchblade Sisters. Don't know anything about it. That looks quite interesting. Again, I've watched the trailer. A Ghost Waits. I have watched the trailer for this and this looks brilliant. I just like the idea of it. Very low budget, but very, very inventive looking. I like films that take a premise and try to do something differently with them. Just bear with me 2 seconds. I'm going to plug my phone in because it's just come up with 15% charge. Oh, sorry about that. This is definitely not a professional filmmaking in action. Right, where were we? Giants and Toys. Another great looking Japanese film by the same crew as Black Test Car. The trailer for that looks quite good. Over the Edge. I managed, this is slipcase only one was from, sorry, from this, the slipcase only was from the Arrow website. You couldn't get it anywhere else, but I managed to pick one up off eBay from someone that obviously didn't want it. The Stylist, brilliant film. Really enjoyed this. Very, very affecting horror, psychological horror. Eruzumi, haven't watched this. Don't know much about it at all, really. Threshold, I kind of enjoyed this one. It's not brilliant. Some of the story beats feel a bit off to me. The pacing's a bit flat, but really well done, considering it seemed to have been filmed on the fly. Dinner America. I love the trailer for this. It was absolutely desperate to see that when I saw the trailer, which I will get round to at some point. Tale of Two Sisters, yes, again I've waxed lyrical about this on the Tartan Asia Extreme video. I absolutely love this film. It's just brilliant. Great little horror. Blind Beast. Again, I don't know much about that. Japanese film, which I will pretty much always buy from Arrow, even if I was to buy nothing else. Death Screams. I'm probably going to turn that around again because it doesn't quite fit in there, but I like this slipcase. There was another slipcase available from the Arrow website, but I didn't get that one. I just got the standard. Snake Girl and the Silver-Haired Witch, another Japanese film. I think this is like a creepy film. I think it's surprisingly aimed at kids, but I'm not 100% sure. Dementor and Jugface, which is also known as The Pit, which is what I saw it originally as. I haven't seen Dementor, but The Pit or Jugface is pretty damn good. I really like it. Low budget, creepy horror. You'll have to forgive me because this is just not working now. And Sailor Suit and Machine Gun, which looks quite mad. Sort of Yakuza film run by a schoolgirl, as you can see there. And very quickly we'll just move on to Steelbooks and Arrow Academy because I've got about 9 minutes left on this. So I've got the Demons 1 and 2 Steelbook. I've got the Tenebrae Steelbook, which I absolutely love. I love that cover. It's one of my favourite Argento films. Maniac Cop, City of the Living Dead again, Phenomena again, and Day of the Dead again. So see, I've double dipped on a few of these films, but not too many. Black Sunday, Shivers, and Rabid. Rabid, I think the print's all wrong with Rabid, which I think is why 101 Films got to release it as part of their black label. Long Goodbye, another Bob Hoskins film. We've got Audition, great Takashi Miike film. Sorry, these are getting squished around in here. As I say, I've got the Thing Steelbook, which I haven't opened yet. I'm not sure what I'll do with that. Blade of the Immortal, now Takashi Miike. Battle Royale, another Battle Royale. This is a recent one. I picked that up in a sale. Savvy sale. It was about £8 or something, so I couldn't say no. And same with Nightmare on Elm Street Steelbook. And yeah, very quickly we'll run through Arrow Academy. I've got a lot of these: Night of the Hunter, Cinema Paradiso, Brute Force, and Naked City, both of which have recently released in a box set. But I always prefer the originals. The Killers, it's a great little film. Love that. Thieves Highway, I haven't seen. Too Late for Tears, I haven't seen. Most of the stuff I've got here is either Japanese or noir, with the odd classic thrown in. That is, if you can see it, that's the Blue Dahlia and the Glass Key. I've seen the Glass Key, that was really good. Jamaican Hitchcock film. It's the only Hitchcock film that Arrow have ever put out. My Darling Clementine, Western, My Life as a Dog, Clash, picked up for about £2 or something, £3 online in a sale. Third Murder, this is a Koreeda, Hirozaku Koreeda, whose films I absolutely adore. That's a great little weird thriller. Bloody Spear in Mount Fuji, So Dark the Night, another noir. My Name's Julia Ross is a brilliant film, loosely remade as oh gosh, what's it called? It's on the 88 slasher films. Dead of Winter, brilliant film. Dead of Winter as well. Phantom Lady, that's quite good. I thought Ella Raines was absolutely brilliant in that. Really entertaining. Big Clock I haven't seen yet. Nightfall, one of my favourites I've seen recently. That was a cracking film. Dark City, haven't watched yet, but looks good. Man with 1,000 Faces. Pickup Alley. The Far Country, another westerny type thing. Black Angel, another noir. Mad Fox, Japanese film. This was brilliant. I loved that. Absolutely loved it. And apologies for pronouncing this, but the films of Zhangke. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. But it's 3 films by that director. If you can see that, 24 City, A Touch of Sin, and Mountains Made Apart. Touch of Sin I've actually got as a standard Arrow video release, which I'll quickly go through. So I've got about 5 minutes left. Return to Sender, haven't seen the Bridge series, a hijacking, poetry, simple life, and there's a touch of sin there. And now Departures, which I have seen is brilliant, and The Hunt, which is fantastic. Both of those have been repackaged as Arrow Academy, but I haven't double dipped on those yet. I may well do, just for completeness. And we've got Primer and Upstream Colour. I've seen Primer on the Tartan Video label. But again, that's just Arrow Films, surprisingly not Arrow Video. I thought it would have been an Arrow Video. And I've got some DVDs, I Wish, The Cured, The Mimic, False Trail, and The Hunters, which is a double film. And down here there's a couple of Unit 1 series, Liz Visitors and Liz Visitors 2, and a Simple Life and DVD. Again, they're just Arrow Video. Now I've got some Arrow Academy box sets, which I'll quickly run through again. And then there's the final Arrow Academy box sets. Paolo and Vittorio Taviani. Don't know much about them, but I picked them up for really cheap in a sale, so I couldn't say no. In fact, I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll sit them down there because there's room. I've got this is Seijun Suzuki's Taisho trilogy, which he made. He'd kind of fallen out with the Nakatsu studio and didn't really make a lot of films after that. And then he came back with these, and these are meant to be very, very good, but I picked this up. Again, not cheap. What I did pick up cheap, because it popped up on my radar, was this Family Values box set. Now, I already had I Wish on DVD, as you see there, and I had the single Blu-ray as well, which I gave to a friend, but this has I Wish, Like Fire, Like Sun, and After the Storm, and these films are absolutely brilliant. I love them. I'm going to rewatch them at some point. But Like Fire, Like Sun in particular had me bawling. Absolutely bawling. It's beautiful, beautiful film. Very emotional, very quiet, emotional, down-to-earth films. Another box set of Japanese films. Jisoji. Don't know a huge amount, but I think it's called the Buddhist Trilogy. And these Shohei and Amura. And again, I don't know a huge amount about them, but they look quite good. We've got Out One, which I think is a big long sort of real life kind of anthology film. And we've got 4 film noir classics. These came out separately through Arrow Academy, but I ended up picking up the box set because it was going on sale. And then we've got this Magic box set of the game. It's a cracking little film, which I need to revisit. I haven't seen it in years. And then, just down here, if I can get myself in position, because I'm afraid my knees are possibly going to pop. We have the Pieces box set, which I will open up a wee bit. It's got it's upside down, but it's got the Pieces set that they released on its own as a limited edition. The Jigsaw. And then this nice big box. And then behind there is the red vinyl soundtrack. And that, my friends, is all my Arrow releases so far. I've got a few on order, such as the Shaw Brothers box set. As I say, I'm possibly getting some 4Ks as Christmas presents, and a few others I've got on order, and there's a few that are on my radar, shall we say. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, it's not a massively complete collection. There's a lot missing. You know, I wouldn't say I'm picky. Well, I'm obviously not picky. I've got over 200 of this, just of the standard releases alone, and I think about 50 of the box sets. So I'm not massively picky, but I'm obviously not just blind buying all the time. I'm buying stuff that I genuinely want. Yeah, so I'm definitely going to add to this, and I'm going to try and get my shelves in order. So instead of having them all piled up like that, everyone's got a shelf of their own. But yeah, if you've watched this video, or both of these videos, because we're on the second one now and we're coming up to the end of it, thank you very much. Do appreciate it. And if you collect these films and you like these films, you know, comment below, tag me in your own videos, because I love watching these videos, seeing what other people have got, especially if you give us a quick rundown of the films. Obviously, I can't go into massive detail because of the time. But yeah, thanks for watching both videos, and catch you in the next one, hopefully. Bye.